Hey, today I have Mr. Kumbulani Malinga. How are you, sir?
Fine, Mr. Zopo. How are you?
I am well. It's nice to have you around, and thank you very much for accepting to have this interview.
Yeah, this is a very cool new studio. I see a young studio here.
Yeah, I know we're trying to be like you, the media greats, yeah.
No, thanks for having me.
Nice. Okay,
Yeah.
so, today I want to talk to you about the skills development in Africa generally. There is a saying, if wherever you go, whether it's the World Economic Forum, the World Bank, the United Nations, and everywhere, they're talking about the future of work. And
Yes.
they're also talking about the youth bulge in Africa, where Africa has got the youngest population. I think they say 60% of African population is under 24, I think, something like that.
Yes.
So what does this mean for Africa?
I think it means that we need to invest so much in young people because they are the ones who will be taking over senior leadership of the continent soon. Investing can come in two ways.
Yeah.
Firstly, we need to make sure that the leadership of the country in different sectors, of the continent in different sectors, must create conducive environments that can make young people be able to learn skills. And then secondly, we need to inspire young people themselves to understand that they are the core and key pillars of the continent. Therefore, they must catch up with the rest of their counterparts in the broader world in terms of developing their skills and being up to date with the skills that are needed by the world as is now.
Okay. Hey, that is, you sound like a politician. With the jargon, with the poise and control in your voice, and Okay, I'm gonna ruffle you up a bit, right?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna bring in some controversies,
Yes.
so that at least maybe we might explore and find out and talk about those things that people generally avoid talking about, right?
Yeah.
So, in Africa, we were
Yes.
colonized.
Yes.
We were colonized because we were inferior. Yes, we're inferior technologically because we were using spears and bows and arrows, and
They were using
and the
guns.
Europeans were using guns.
Yes.
So technologically, we're inferior.
Yeah.
They were more organized because we didn't have robust national governments, right?
Yes,
Our governments were more village based, and you understand. So they managed to scale the government model to such an extent that it became a republic.
Yes.
And they ordered it in such a way that we were at the bottom of the pyramid. So we were beaten. Do you agree with me?
Yes, we were beaten. I agree entirely with what you have said.
Yes. So we're beaten, and the moment as a black guy you start talking about this, people frown at you because they want to look at the atrocities, but they don't want to look at the causality of the atrocity. Say, if we had been able to defend ourselves, we would not have been in those situations. Is that true?
Yes, that is true. But I think the problem will happen when you want to look at one side and say because they were not organized, they were inferior. That is why they were beaten up. We must agree reality. That is a fact, but it does not delete the other reality that other human beings infringed on other human beings' rights, freedom of movement, freedom, and all freedoms.
True.
Yeah, so as long as we agree that Africans were not organized, and we agree that there are atrocities which are gross human rights violations that were done, and then we can be able now to say, let's put the past behind us and say, what lessons do we learn? And then we move forward, having learned lessons from that bitter past in civilization and in humanity.
So I'm not disputing the atrocities that were committed by Europeans during colonialism and apartheid.
Yes.
But for them to do that, they had to have defeated us.
Yes, they defeated us.
So why were we defeated?
We were defeated because they had higher technology than us.
Okay. So now, we as the great-grandchildren of people that were defeated, right? In Zimbabwe, I know we talk about Mbuyaneanda.
Yes.
Sekuruka Gui, Chaminuka. For me, I actually get angry when I hear about these guys because they're famous for just saying they shall be white people who are coming. But what did they do in terms of strategy, in terms of mobilizing, in terms of to defend our territory? What did they do from a strategic point of view?
But history, as it is always said, is written by the victors.
True.
The role of our people in defending the territories and defending our integrity as black people at times is not written. But they are historians who have visited history. They will look at the Berkeley of Isandlwana here in South Africa, where the Zulu people fought so much against the whites. And also just across in Zimbabwe. The last back that happened for in Matebeleland for Rhodes and his team to colonize happened when they were fighting Lopengula's team. If you go to Tabazinduna, Leander Start Jameson put a plaque in remembrance of the Ndebele soldiers that they just defeated. He said these were brave warriors who fought so hard to defend them. So even other white people, they recognized the kind of strength and determination that black people had in defending us. So it happened, but it's under it was not written by us, therefore we won't know much.
It was definitely the one who wins is the one who writes the history. So tell me, this sounds like very long ago, right? These wars and stuff like that. Now that we are free, we've got internet, we've got phones, we've got civilization in quotes, right? So now I ask myself and say, will our grandchildren not ask themselves to say, where were those ancestors? Because we will be the ancestors one day, right? Now, let's look at the new type of colonization that is happening. That I feel that we are committing the same crimes that our forefathers committed. For example, which bank in Africa uses a core banking solution, a software by an African company? Who owns the internet infrastructure? Who owns the infrastructure? Because right now we're celebrating when somebody comes up with an app for delivering food, right? But that app is on what? Is on Android or iOS. Who is Android? Who is iOS? So who controls who? Who's got all the data? Who's got, you know what I mean? So we have been reduced to consumers and end users as Africans. So isn't that colonization?
I wouldn't say it's colonialism per se. What is happening is that someone who discovered something first, and then they sold it to the public, and then the public wanted it. So whoever discovered internet or created whatever happened in its invention, and they managed to make it something that we rely upon. So they control the resource because it is there. But we're having people like Strive, we're trying to break the consumer part and try to be wholesalers by trying to bring that thing here. He's one of the big people who's supplying almost sub-Saharan Africa.
Okay, sorry, can I ask, what is he supplying? And where is that coming from?
He's supplying it from where from the owners. But this is where my point is going. My point is, you'll find that the Western world does not have some minerals that we have. And therefore, they come to take them from us because they need them.
Where are we when they're taking them?
They're talking to our government. And then they do arrangement, some dodgy arrangements, some legal arrangements. So, what does it mean? It means Europe, white people, they've got the internet, which is their resource. We also have got our own resource that they need. So, what is important is let's organize ourselves the way they organize themselves, so that when they come to take our resource, we have power over it and we have control over them. They are reliant on us. The way we are reliant on
let's be practical now. From an abstract and theoretical perspective, your solution makes sense, right? Okay, let's be practical now. Let's go to Zimbabwe, right? In Zimbabwe, how can we organize ourselves to make sure that the government doesn't mortgage us to the highest bidder?
You know where diamonds? I don't know. Maybe they've disappeared. The ancestors,
They're still there.
took them. Ancestors took them back where they come from. Where the diamonds?
Yeah.
From 1996. Is it from? Yes, around 1996. De Beers was mining those diamonds, working with the government, mining the diamonds, taking them through Bedbridge, through Fawcett vehicles and going out.
Yeah.
But people didn't know they have diamonds until 2006, 2007, 8. So we have principals who are willing to mortgage their people for eco purposes and self-aggrandizement.
Yes.
So what we need to do, we need a change of mindset amongst the generality of Zimbabwe, so that those whom we decide to put in leadership, they understand how not to mortgage the country, how not to mortgage the land and resources at the expense of their people. So we need a change of mindset. That is what we need. And then we can deploy those people with the right mindset who understand how to be organized and run our systems.
But the problem now is that your prescription, the how, you're talking about the change of mindset. But you see, these are intangibles. And don't you think that even those that are in government right now, if you ask them the moral code, they will give you the moral code according to the best constitution in the world or whatever. You understand? They know. Even some of the young people are equally corrupt.
No, hear me well.
Yes.
Africa is a young continent, just came from colonialism now.
Yeah.
What we have barbarians who came from an uncivilized world. And then they just decided one day, let's fight these white people. And take over the country. Then they went to the bush, wherever the bush they were training. Then they come, they fight. And then these are the people who have taken over. Majority of the people running Africa are people coming from the bush who are fighting. Whether it's your Ramaphosa, your Mnangagwa, whoever. They were fighting in the bush. They don't know how to run a democracy. So they came with those systems that they had in the bush. And they're implementing them, creating this whole system of
bush democracy.
Democracy, the one that we envy from America so much. So they've got this system that they are running to benefit each other. Say we're together in the war. We know so and so. So that system is one that they're using to mortgage the country. Or if they say I was with the Zobko in the war. So when the Chinese come, let's sell them the country. As long as Zobko get the money, I get the money, we're fine. We don't care with these other people. We don't care what they happen to them. So, these people, we can't change them. They know the moral code for purpose of speaking to us, what we vote for them. But what they implement is the system from the bush that they agreed on.
Okay, but as if counterexamples exist, then we should not take that as a rule of thumb, right? So Asia, India, Brazil, they were all colonized. You know that, right? Even China was also colonized by the British. You know that. But they managed to turn around. And then look at the darling of everybody nowadays, Rwanda. I mean, any African conversation you have, you know you're going to speak about Kagame. They call it the Kagamerization of every conversation, right? Now Kagame is also coming from the bushes, right? But he's managed to turn the tables around, and he's actually doing work for his people. And Rwanda right now is the shining star in Africa. Look at Abiy as well. He's coming from the military as well in Ethiopia. So is it about the bush, or is it about the people and the choices that they make? Not necessarily about where they're coming from, because it's almost the same argument to say a child coming out of the Mkukus, right? And one coming out of Bryanston. They all have a shot at life, right? In as much as that one is disadvantaged. But at the end of the day, you've seen people who have come from rags to riches. And some who have come from riches to rags. So you might have come from the bush, or you might have come from Harvard. But it's about your personal choices and how you conduct yourself. So don't you think that your argument is a bit flawed?
That is why I talked about change of mindset. So if Kagame decided to change his mind and say, I will not be like the former regime that has been killing people and doing all these things, let me become a new person. Mukufuli also, when he came in, is trying to be a new person. So it's about the mindset. That person, whatever inspired them to have that mindset shift is what is needed. So when we say change of mindset, these old people at times it's difficult until they decide. But us young people, let's communicate amongst each other. Let's share common values. As we grow through leadership positions that we're taking in society. Let's hold morality. Let's put our institutions first. And soon those who take over government will do the same thing. They will be able to know how to hold and behave themselves.
So my problem with your argument is that you are saying that mindset and changing it, right? Is a function as a relationship with age. To say the older you are, the less is that true?
Well, to a certain extent, you know, even the British they created a saying that you can't teach an old dog new tricks, because as you grow and grow, there are some fundamental there's a fundamental mindset that you hold. There are some beliefs that become key and core to you that it's difficult for someone to change. Like you can't go to a 50-year-old person and try to turn them to Christianity. You can't. They won't listen to you.
Yeah.
So mindset is a relation with age at some point.
Okay, but they say that some form of shock in the system will force people to change. If you look at, Rwanda, it took a genocide for them to realize that, you know what, whether you're Hutu or whether you're Tutsi, you're just a Rwandan. You're just a human being.
Yes.
It took that hectic, diabolic event for them to actually unite as a country and move forward.
Yes.
So what kind of shock do we need in a country like Zimbabwe?
That's a difficult one.
I don't know. What November last year when Mnangagwa took over, was that a shock to the system?
No,
or was it just a change of guard?
You see, the problem with Zimbabwe is that 6 people died. We had other elections where hundreds of people died. So those were very few compared to others. So it was not a shock. It was just a small thing that they didn't even realize.
So are you saying from Mugabe to Mnangagwa nothing has changed?
And nothing really has changed so far.
So
things are worse. So far, nothing has changed.
So as the youth, what are the youth doing to change this? Or we in our comfort zones, just talking about it. And I know when the bond was introduced in Zimbabwe, everybody became an economist. When it was elections, everybody was a lawyer. And we're tweeting and debating in our little corners. Yes. So what are we doing as youth to actually change this?
Okay. The problem that Zimbabwe system under Mugabe produced was of intellectuals, people who know everything. We analyze everything. We know law, we know economics, everything.
Yeah.
So we've been reduced to talking about things and not doing things.
Yeah.
So that is the problem, that even young people, we talk, we analyze, we compete, who knows better, who can analyze better.
Yeah.
And then it ends there. We go to hotels, conferences, it ends there. Yeah. But if only young people across political divide, young people in corporate sector, in religious institutions, could sit down and have a common generational agenda that this is what we want for our country.
Yeah.
These political jackets, economic positions, wherever, corporate positions are just jackets. Let's remove them, sit down, have a generational agenda and say, wherever you are in an institution, let's push for this.
Yeah.
You realize that if we do that, we'll have a common thinking moving forward. Whoever takes over the country, takes over leadership. Some will be captains of industry who are running small SMEs now.
Yeah.
Some will be big pastors who are youth pastors now.
Yeah.
Politicians who are youth leaders will be presidents, ministers. At the time when you take over leadership, that generation will run things with common mindset that is progressive and benefits the country and moves it forward.
Wow. No, thank you very much. We could have spoken about many things, but time doesn't allow us.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. I'll definitely get in touch with you for more episodes around these issues.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Malinga.
Thank you very much for having me.
Sure.